Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Alan was a kid when his mother took him to a friend's house. His mother went there a lot, but Alan didn't go with her very often. But because it was the summer break and there was no one to watch him at home and his mother wouldn't let him go alone, he went with her. When they got there, the two women started talking right away. Alan was sent upstairs to play with the women's two daughters, Emma and Jane, who were in the year above and below Alan at school. The girls were playing a kind of dress-up game where they pretended to be a group of thieves. Emma was in charge of the group, and the other members were different dolls. Jane was played the people in shops, the police, and banks who saw the group. When the members were caught and needed to be saved, the lower bunk of the girls' beds was used as a prison cell. Alan joined the group quickly and became Emma's sidekick. It wasn't as fun as playing war or cowboys, but it was a lot more fun than something like a doll's tea party. After a couple of robberies, Emma decided that her group needed better disguises for their next job, which was to rob a bank. She looked through the dress-up chest and gave Alan a tartan skirt and a blouse with frills. To get into the bank, you can dress up as a Scottish person. When they let you in, you have to steal all the money and change back at the hideout. Alan said, "I'm not wearing a skirt." "Stupid. It's not a skirt, it's a kilt." "It's a skirt, but I'm not wearing girls' clothes. I'm the leader of the group, and you must do what I say. The kilt is your disguise, and you have to wear it. Don't you know that Scottish men always wear kilts?" "Of course, I already know that. Then if you wear one, it doesn't matter, does it?" "But it's a skirt, not a kilt." "No, it's not a skirt, it's a kilt, and you have to wear it because I'm in charge." "Now put it on, or we can't be friends." Alan took the skirt and tried to convince himself that the short, pleated piece of clothing was a kilt. At least it was clear that it wasn't a kilt for a man. Alan was still trying to convince himself that he was wearing boys' clothes as Emma buttoned up the back of the blouse and wrapped the skirt around his waist. Alan tried to argue again, but Emma ignored him. Soon, Alan was acting like he was robbing a bank while wearing a frilly shirt and a short, pleated skirt. He was lucky he didn't look in a mirror, because he would have been horrified by how girly he looked in the skirt, frilly shirt, and curly blonde hair that reached his shoulders. Jane thought that he had been seen, so she called the police, and Alan had to run back to the girls' bedroom, where the group was hiding, while the police were after him. When he got there, Emma told him that he had been followed and that they had to get rid of all the evidence. While policewoman Jane was trying to open the door, Emma was trying so hard to hide the evidence that she threw Alan's boy clothes out the window into the garden. Emma was able to hide, and Alan was arrested by policewoman Jane and taken into custody. Jane was asking her subject questions, while Emma and the rest of the group came up with a plan to get Alan away from the police. "So you thought you could get away with this robbery by pretending to be a girl?" "Huh. I'm not. I'm just pretending to be Scottish." "Well, your disguise didn't work. Sergeant Teddy Bear and I saw you trying to hide the money under your skirt, and we caught you in the act." "It's a kilt, not a skirt." "You did try to rob the bank, didn't you?" Alan said. "No," keeping up with the game. "It wasn't me. I was just trying to save some money." "Ha! You thought that excuse would work, huh? Your prints are all over the place. For being bad, you get 10 years in prison." "Sergeant Teddy Bear, take him away!" Alan was pushed onto the bottom bunk of the bunk bed. Something was on the floor, and Jane picked it up. "Don't try to get out of my prison, or I'll make you eat this spider." Alan, who was afraid of spiders, let out a high-pitched scream, got off the bed, and ran to the other side of the room. Jane ran toward him with it while she laughed. Alan screamed and tried to run away again. Emma and Jane both laughed so hard at what he did that they were crying. Jane let the spider out the window, and when she turned around, Emma was laughing and saying, "You screamed like a little girl." Alan yelled, "Did not." He was mad that he had acted that way in front of two girls and was suddenly even more embarrassed by what he was wearing. Luckily, the two girls stopped bothering him pretty quickly, and they all went back to playing. Alan's wrists were taken from behind his back and tied to the bunk bed's post, making it look like he was in prison. Jane was acting like she was doing paperwork while talking to Sergeant Teddy Bear about how to catch the rest of the group. Emma put on one of her mom's old pinafores to act like a cleaning lady so she could get into the prison and save a member of her group. She brought a bag with her and pretended to clean until policewoman Jane stopped being suspicious. She told her pretend group member, "I've come to save you." "Untie me quickly," Alan said. "Not yet. The policewoman might come in and see us. We have to disguise you so you can escape." Emma told him that the only way he could get away was to dress up as a princess, and then the policewoman would have to let him go if he wasn't the criminal. This was a typical childish logic for a make-believe game. Alan didn't want to be dressed up as a princess, but with his hands tied together, he hadn't much choice. She took his curly blonde hair and tied it into 2 bunches. She used a pink satin ribbon to tie a big fussy bow on each bunch. "I told you little girls with pink ribbons in their hair are the only ones who scream like that at spiders." She took out a dress made of pink satin from the bag. It was the same one she had worn as a bridesmaid the year before. The dress was candy pink and had lace around the sweetheart neckline, the hem, and the cuffs of the long sleeves. The shoulders of the sleeves were puffy, and the full circle skirt of the dress was made up of dozens of soft, floaty petticoats. Emma took the dress's back zipper off, arranged the skirt, and held it out for Alan to put on. "Quick, put on a disguise before the policewoman comes in and catches us." "I'm not going to wear that." "Are you mad? I'm a boy, so I won't dress up like a girl. Never." "You have to do it, or you'll be stuck here in prison." "I don't want to play this stupid game anymore, and I'm not wearing that dress. Untie me and bring my clothes back from the garden." "No, you can untie yourself and go to the garden to get your own clothes." "But if I go downstairs, our moms will see me." Alan whined. "I can't go like this or in the kilt." "It's not a kilt, it's a skirt," said Emma. "It's one of my mom's old skirts. You've already been wearing a skirt, so if you want me to return your clothes, you might as well wear this dress." Or we could bring the spider back if you don't wear it." Alan turned bright red and did what she said, so she pulled the dress up around his hips. She zipped him in, and he tried to get out right away, but he couldn't reach the zip. So he could get out of jail, Alan had to pretend to be a princess who had been mistaken for a criminal. After Princess Allison curtsied and said she was a real princess and not a criminal in disguise, policewoman Jane finally agreed to let her and her toys have dinner with Princess Allison. Alan pretended to be a princess for the next half hour. He looked at himself in the mirror. When he was younger, his mother kept his hair long because so many people liked it. Alan hated it because people thought he was a girl, but as he got older, he noticed that some of the girls he liked it, so he kept it longish. When the pink ribbons were used to tie his hair into 2 bunches, he couldn't believe how girly it looked. He was also surprised to find that, in a weird way, he liked how it looked. Jane brought out another of her toys to meet the princess, and she used a string to make the toy talk. "Hello, princess. My name is Barbie. What's yours?" "My name's Alan. No, I'm Princess Allison," he stuttered, blushing the same color as his dress and the ribbons in his hair. "Alan, I thought you were royalty." Alan couldn't believe he was going along with this when Allison said, I am Princess Allison. I think you are the criminal who is trying to get out of jail by pretending to be a princess." "No, I'm a real princess, and my name is Allison." "Are you sure you're a real princess? Are you a girl for sure?" Alan gulped and said, "Yes, I'm a girl named Allison." He was red-faced again and wished the ground would swallow him up. "You're just putting on a dress to get out of jail. Sergeant Teddy Bear, put him back in jail right away." Alan was soon tied to the bed again, but this time he was wearing a pink dress and had ribbons in his hair. The doorbell rang all of a sudden. Alan moved around on the bed, desperately trying not to be seen if anyone else came into the room. "Quit playing now, girls. Alan's mom will be there soon to take him home." "Okay, Mom," yelled Emma. "We will soon be done. You have until we're done with our tea." They heard the mother of the girls go down the stairs. Jane ran downstairs to get Alan's clothes, while Emma helped in get free. Jane came back and put all of Alan's clothes on the bed. He put on his normal clothes and went downstairs. His mother was coming from the kitchen when he got to the bottom of the stairs. She was ready to go because she was wearing her coat. "Okay, Alan, let's go," she said as she walked toward the front door. "Hold on, Mom," he said as he headed for the back door. She stopped him by grabbing his arm. "There's no more time to play, so let's go. You can always come back and finish your little game some other time." "But Mom," "No, come on, dinner is ready. In a few days, you'll see the girls again. Say goodbye and get into the car." Alan said goodbye to Emma and Jane, and then he and his mom left the house. As they drove home in the car, his mother gave him a strange look. "Were you playing a game where you put on clothes?" Alan turned red because he was still thinking about the dress and how his hair looked with pink ribbons in it. "Yes, we did." "I thought so," his mother said. "I think you should wash your face when we get home, though, because you look like you're wearing lipstick." This was the event that changed my life forever. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.